What happens to your body during a 36-hour water fast? A complete hour-by-hour breakdown. This lesson has the genuine power to transform your metabolism, your health, and your vitality in ways you have probably never experienced before. Your doctor is unlikely to walk you through this in a routine appointment, but today we are going to examine in careful detail exactly what happens inside your body when you go without food for 36 consecutive hours. If you are watching this on YouTube, you will see an animation illustrating precisely what occurs at each stage of this fast. If you are listening to the podcast version, you can follow the full timeline at youtube.com/camp. Let us begin. Hours 0 to 14. Insulin drops and digestion completes two remarkable and interconnected biological processes occur during the first 14 hours of a fast, and understanding both of them will fundamentally change the way you think about food, energy, and your metabolism. The first is the gradual but significant decline of a hormone called insulin. Insulin is essentially your body's energy sensor and storage manager. Every time you eat, and particularly when you consume carbohydrates, you trigger an insulin response. That response initiates fat storage. Insulin removes excess glucose from your bloodstream after a meal and directs it into your cells for storage, first filling up the liver and the muscles. Once those storage sites are saturated, the remaining glucose gets packed away into your fat cells. This is why insulin is often referred to as the fat storage hormone. It is, in fact, the only hormone in your entire body whose primary function includes storing fat. During the first 14 hours of your fast, you will see a gradual and steady decline in insulin levels, a decline that accelerates particularly after that 14-hour mark. Why does this matter so profoundly? As your insulin levels drop, your body begins drawing down its stored sugar reserves, a substance called glycogen, held in your liver and muscles. As those glycogen stores become depleted, your metabolism undergoes a critical shift and activates fat-burning mode. You literally begin burning your stored body fat for fuel. Weight loss begins. This process accelerates progressively over time, but you will notice relatively quickly that you feel lighter, look less puffy, and carry less water weight. This is not a slow, imperceptible change. It happens in a meaningful way within a short period of time. The second major event during these first 14 hours is the completion of digestion. This is enormously important and frequently underappreciated. Digesting food is an extraordinarily energy-intensive process. It demands significant metabolic resources, circulatory resources, and enzymatic resources to break down, process, and absorb everything you have consumed. Think about the last time you sat down to a genuinely large meal, a holiday feast, a Thanksgiving dinner, a birthday celebration where you ate well beyond your usual amount. What was your first impulse afterward? It was not to jump up and tackle a creative project or power through a demanding work session. It was to find the nearest couch. You may even have taken a nap, and that response is completely physiologically rational. Processing a large meal consumes enormous amounts of your body's energy budget. It takes approximately 14 hours to fully complete digestion of a meal. Once that process is finished at the 14-hour mark, something remarkable happens. Your body undergoes what I call energy diversion. This is one of my personal favorite benefits of fasting. Rather than directing its energy and circulatory resources toward the ongoing work of digestion, your body can now redirect that energy toward your brain, toward cellular repair, toward healing. Your body raises what are called counter-regulatory hormones. All you need to know is that this is your body's sophisticated way of flooding you with sustained, clean energy so that you remain mentally sharp, focused, and alert. At the 14-hour mark, many people experience a genuine and noticeable surge in mental clarity and physical energy. People describe it as a sudden lifting of mental fog, a sharpness they had forgotten was possible. And this happens in a relatively short amount of time from when you begin. Hour 16. Autophagy activates your body's cellular cleanup system. As you continue through the fast and reach the 16-hour mark, one of the most scientifically fascinating processes in human biology gets switched on. It is called autophagy, and the word itself comes from Greek roots meaning self-eating. Think of autophagy as Pac-Man operating inside your cells, moving through your cellular environment searching for damaged, dysfunctional, expired, or inefficient cellular components and either repairing them or breaking them down and recycling their parts. This is one of the single most important biological processes you can activate through fasting because it directly prevents and suppresses diseases, including cancer and autoimmune conditions, powerfully supports your immune system, eliminates cells that are not efficiently burning fat for energy, and repairs those cells so they can perform their energy producing function more effectively. Let me give you an analogy that makes this immediately intuitive. Imagine your refrigerator. Open the door and look inside. Every single item in there, the milk, the orange juice, the vegetables, the condiments, the leftovers, has an expiration date. Now imagine that instead of using those groceries and replacing them regularly, you simply let everything expire. Every item crosses its expiration date and keeps sitting there. But instead of throwing the expired food in the trash, you just keep buying fresh groceries and stacking them in front of the old ones. You close the refrigerator and come back the next day. What you will find inside is a toxic, contaminated, disease-breeding environment. It will smell. It will grow mold. It will be genuinely dangerous. Your human body operates by the exact same principle. Your cells, your proteins, your mitochondria, all the tiny energy-generating factories inside your cells, all have biological expiration dates. Your metabolism is required to remove, replenish, and regenerate approximately 60 billion of these cellular components every single day just to keep you functioning optimally. Autophagy is the precise process by which your body removes the cellular junk, repairs what can be repaired, and generates new, healthier, more efficient cells in place of the old ones. These newer, cleaner cells produce more energy. They perform their functions more effectively, and critically, they burn fat more efficiently, which supports your weight loss and metabolic health simultaneously. What makes this so remarkable to me is the extraordinary intelligence embedded in your biology. Your body does not do this randomly or accidentally. It activates autophagy in a purposeful, strategic response to fasting because your innate metabolism interprets 16 hours without food as a potential famine condition. It cannot distinguish between your intentional choice to fast and an actual food scarcity situation. It cannot understand that you could walk to your kitchen and eat at any moment, or open an app on your phone and have food delivered to your door in under an hour. Your body is hardwired for the ancient conditions under which your ancestors lived for hundreds of thousands of years, conditions that included genuine periods of famine and food scarcity. So it activates autophagy because it believes you are in a survival situation. And here is the beautiful irony: that survival response floods you with energy, mental clarity, and physical resources, everything your ancestors would have needed to go out and find food, and you get to redirect all of that toward your productivity, your creativity, and your well-being. Autophagy activates at the 16-hour mark and continues to intensify throughout the remainder of the 36-hour fast. You can also stimulate autophagy through exercise, particularly strength training, but fasting remains one of the most powerful and reliable methods available. Hour 24. Profound digestive healing and intestinal stem cell regeneration. As you reach the 24-hour mark, something truly remarkable begins to occur in your digestive system specifically. We have already established that digestion consumes an enormous amount of your body's energy and resources. After 24 full hours of fasting, many people who struggle with chronic digestive complaints, acid reflux, GERD, persistent bloating, discomfort after eating, find that those symptoms simply disappear or diminish dramatically. But the benefits go much deeper than symptomatic relief. Multiple studies are now showing that a 24-hour fast initiates what can be described as an intestinal stem cell reboot. Your digestive tract contains cells that, after undergoing autophagy, are cleared through a process called apoptosis, programmed cell death. This is not damage or destruction. It is a highly intelligent, carefully orchestrated biological process in which your metabolism deliberately eliminates inflamed, damaged, and dysfunctional intestinal cells. After clearing those cells, your body then produces new stem cells, and those fresh stem cells begin actively healing and restoring your gut lining and digestive tissue. If you struggle with significant digestive issues of any kind, leaky gut, inflammatory bowel symptoms, chronic bloating, food sensitivities, a 24-hour fast represents one of the most powerful interventions available to you for initiating genuine intestinal repair and regeneration from the inside out. Hour 30 BDNF production, brain fertilizer, and spiritual clarity. As you continue progressing through the fast and approach the 30-hour mark, you may begin to notice an experience that goes beyond typical physical benefits. Many people describe what happens at this stage as almost spiritual in quality. The biological mechanism behind this experience is a compound called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain. It is like miracle grow for your neural tissue. Research on fasting is demonstrating that BDNF production is dramatically enhanced during extended fasting periods. What BDNF does biologically is facilitate more effective connections between brain cells, improving the efficiency and clarity of neural communication throughout your brain. The result, of course, is heightened mental clarity, sharper focus, expanded cognitive capacity, and elevated productivity. But many people report that it feels like something beyond simple cognitive enhancement. It feels like enhanced intuition, like a clarity of thought and perception that is qualitatively different from their baseline experience. This is an excellent time, if you choose to fast, to engage in journaling, creative thinking, strategic planning, or any activity that benefits from genuinely original and clear-headed thought. You may find yourself arriving at insights and ideas that would not have surfaced during your normal daily mental state. There is a reason that every major religion in human history has incorporated some form of fasting into its spiritual practice. I believe the BDNF production and the neurological changes that accompany extended fasting are a significant part of why those traditions developed and persisted across thousands of years. BDNF can also be stimulated through vigorous exercise and through certain foods like blueberries, but the magnitude of the increase associated with extended fasting is extraordinary. You are likely to experience something at this stage of the fast that will permanently change your relationship with both food and with your own mind. Hour 36. Serious fat loss, ketones, and metabolic transformation. This brings us to the 36-hour mark, the destination of this particular fast, and this is where the metabolic transformation becomes truly dramatic and visible. I have personally witnessed people lose between 5 and 10 pounds within a single 36-hour fast. Yes, some of that represents water weight, and that is perfectly fine and expected. But the deeper metabolic process is far more significant than water loss alone. Here is what is actually happening at the biochemical level during every hour of this fast after the 14-hour mark. Your insulin, your fat storage hormone, continues dropping every single hour, hour after hour. But it is not only about insulin declining. Something equally important and powerful is simultaneously occurring. Your body has exhausted its immediate glucose stores, and your metabolism has fully committed to using your stored body fat as its primary fuel source. Your belly fat, your love handles, your visceral fat surrounding your organs. Your metabolism is actively pulling those fatty acid stores out of storage and sending them to your liver to be processed for energy. Your liver takes those incoming fatty acids and converts them into molecules called ketones. You have probably heard of the ketogenic diet, but ketosis is not actually a diet in the strict sense. It is a metabolic state, a natural and ancient biological process that your body is designed to enter under conditions of food scarcity or extended fasting. When ketone levels rise, several remarkable things happen simultaneously. Your basal metabolic rate increases, meaning you burn more calories even at complete rest. Your mitochondria, your cellular energy factories, are enhanced in their ability to produce ATP energy, and your systemic inflammation drops significantly. You experience this convergence of effects as feeling simultaneously leaner, lighter, more energetic, and less physically uncomfortable or inflamed. I have personally worked with thousands of people from all over the world and have implemented the 36-hour water fast as a cornerstone strategy for breaking through weight loss resistance, shattering stubborn metabolic plateaus, and restoring metabolic flexibility. The results, when done properly, are genuinely extraordinary. Common questions about the 36-hour water fast. Will you lose muscle during a 36-hour fast? This is the concern I hear most frequently, particularly from people who train regularly and have worked hard to build lean muscle mass. The short answer is no. You will not lose meaningful muscle mass during a 36-hour fast if you have normal or above average body fat levels. Your metabolism is intelligent and hierarchical. It will use body fat for fuel long before it considers breaking down muscle tissue. You would need to be at an extremely low body fat percentage, around 6% or below, before muscle loss during a short fast becomes a genuine concern, and the vast majority of people are nowhere near that level. In fact, the 36-hour water fast may actually help you preserve and potentially build muscle because it produces a massive surge in human growth hormone. Studies suggest that a 24-hour fast alone can increase human growth hormone levels by approximately 2,000% in men and 1,300% in women. Human growth hormone is powerfully anti-aging, strongly fat-burning, and deeply anabolic for muscle tissue. Many people pay their physicians thousands of dollars per month for injectable human growth hormone therapy. Your body will produce it naturally and abundantly during this fast at absolutely no cost. What can you consume during the 36 hours? Water is your primary fuel. Electrolytes are important to maintain mineral balance and prevent the fatigue and headaches that can accompany fasting without adequate mineral replenishment. Plain black coffee and unsweetened tea are generally acceptable and will not break your fast in any meaningful metabolic sense. If you take supplements during the fast, avoid fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, as these require dietary fat for proper absorption and may cause nausea when taken without food. Water-soluble supplements like magnesium are perfectly fine to continue during the fast. Should you exercise during the 36-hour fast, you can, and if you feel physically capable, exercising in a fasted state will amplify both your fat-burning results and your autophagy activation. When you work out fasted, your body directs blood flow toward powering the workout rather than toward digesting food, which can actually enhance exercise performance and dramatically increase the metabolic benefits. That said, listen carefully to your body. If you want to use the 36 hours purely for healing, rest, and cellular repair, that is a completely valid and valuable choice. How often should you do this fast? This depends significantly on how much excess body fat you currently carry. If you are close to your goal weight and primarily seeking the health and longevity benefits of fasting, once every quarter, every 90 days, is a reasonable frequency. If you are significantly overweight, perhaps 20 or more pounds above your goal, doing this once per month can be a powerful strategy for breaking through weight loss plateaus, preventing stalls, and accessing deeply stored body fat. What is the best way to break the fast? Break it low and slow with protein and healthy fat. Excellent options include bone broth, scrambled eggs with steamed vegetables and avocado, or a high-quality protein shake. Avoid breaking a long fast with carbohydrates, sugar, or large volumes of food. Give your digestive system the opportunity to ease back into operation gently. What is the longest recorded fast in human history? Angus Barbieri, a Scottish man, went without food for 382 consecutive days. He was medically supervised throughout the entire process and consumed only water, tea, some nutritional yeast, and electrolytes. He entered the fast at 456 pounds and ended it at 180 pounds. His blood work remained in acceptable ranges throughout. While this is an extreme example that should not be replicated without intensive medical supervision, it illustrates a profound truth. When the human body has substantial fat reserves, it is capable of running on those reserves for extended periods. Your extra body fat is not just an aesthetic concern. It is stored energy, stored food. and fasting is the mechanism by which your body accesses and uses it. The bottom line: I hope this detailed walkthrough of what happens inside your body during a 36-hour water fast has given you a new appreciation for the extraordinary intelligence and self-healing capacity of your metabolism. This is not about deprivation or suffering. It is about strategically giving your body the space and the conditions it needs to do what it was biologically designed to do: repair itself, clean itself, optimize itself, and burn stored fuel efficiently. If you decide to give it a try, come back and share your experience in the comments. And please pass this lesson along to someone in your life who you believe would genuinely benefit from this information. The more people understand what is truly happening inside their bodies, the better equipped they are to make the decisions that support long-term health and vitality